Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue and I'm back for another All-American review. I just want to say to the CW and the people that are writing on All-American, y'all are not right. Y'all are not right to have me crying like that. Okay, y'all, they took me out this episode. Let's go ahead and get into it. I was also happy that it wasn't so many different storylines going on at one time. It was kind of very simple what was going on. So first, let's talk about Billy, Laura, and the twins, okay? They're back at the house. Billy is back in the house, and they're about to go through family therapy. Laura does not look happy about it. Billy wants to find their way back to happiness. Jordan doesn't know if happiness is Laura and Billy being together. And Olivia is like, what is wrong with you? We want our parents to be together. Like, what's wrong with him, Jesus? But the therapist says that he's entitled to have his honest emotions about this. And he expresses that Laura is in the shower crying every night, even though she thinks they can't hear her. And Billy is so full of guilt that they don't seem to be doing any better in the house together than they were separately. At the end of the day, they still going through the motions. It is best for them to be in that house together. Whether you believe that or not, Jordan, you a teenager. Stay in your place. I'm sorry, but that's just how I felt. Anyway, Laura expresses that she just wants to get past this and move on. She's tired of her life being at a standstill because of Billy's mistakes, okay? And they bring up this vacation where even though Billy had a day off, he decided to stay and go over his plays instead of being there with his family. And Jordan is like, so was football more important than family? And Billy is like, no, but I just had all of this pressure on me to take care of y'all and to stay living my dream, because it was his dream to play football, and then he got hurt and it seemed as if his dream was about to dissipate right in front of his eyes. It just felt like he was always chasing that dream and to hold on to that dream. And what he was doing, he felt like he was doing it for his family, you know? Billy says that they were always a priority. And Laura says, oh yeah, even when you was cheating? I said, oh. I guess Laura didn't come here to play with y'all. Billy feels singled out, okay? And Laura says, well, you the reason why we here. Okay, so of course it's gonna be all on you. You the reason why we here, all right? The therapist says, you know what, let's take a break. Okay, let's everybody, cool our heels. The therapist gives the twins some homework to do for them to draw what their family looks like and then draw what their family feels like. And Jordan isn't taking it too seriously, okay? And Olivia says, you do realize that you're about to have a kid with a girl you don't know, right? I think you should probably take this a little bit more seriously, because you obviously need to work on your communication skills before a baby comes into this world with a girl that you don't even really know like that, okay? Laura and Billy are talking to the therapist alone about the cheating and how they've never really talked about the specifics of what happened. Laura doesn't know if she wants to hear it, but it's obvious that the conversation needs to be had so she can understand why he cheated in the first place, okay? Billy explains that he got hurt and Laura told him to quit football. Now, she might have thought what she was doing was giving him support, but it made him feel like she was telling him to let go of his dream, that she didn't value what he'd worked so hard to accomplish, and she was just telling him to throw it away. So he was upset with her and then went to Crenshaw to talk to his dad, but instead runs into Grace. Grace actually understood how Laura felt, but he couldn't hear it. But she ended up being a shoulder for him to cry on, and it made him feel needed. And with him in that current situation, Laura's a hot-shot lawyer telling her husband that he can be a house husband, and it didn't sit right with him. So Grace made him feel needed in that moment, and they ended up sleeping together. Well, Laura was upset by the details and walked off. So she goes upstairs and she overhears a conversation that Jordan and Olivia are having about the drawings. Jordan sees Olivia's drawing and wonders why he's not in it. And she says because she felt abandoned by Jordan. He started playing football after Billy quit playing and became the coach, and he started playing in order to get closer to his dad because they realized, Billy was always gone. So he was trying to form this bond with his dad, but in the process, it made Olivia feel like she lost her best friend. But for him, he felt like she had friends, she was partying, they were doing their own thing, but really, she felt abandoned by him, okay? And y'all, it really made me think about my cousin. Y'all, I'm not, look, the cousin that introduced me to my husband, me and him were very close growing up, like very close. And I can remember when he got his first real girlfriend, how abandoned I felt by the change in our dynamic. And of course, when I got older and started dating people, then, you know, it was fine. But I never liked that girl. I never liked her. Like, you know, we cool, you know, if I see her today, I'll speak to her. It's not a problem. But I just didn't like the fact that I felt like she came in and couldn't share him with us. It had to just be them all the time. And I was used to him, you know, he was like a brother to me. He's my cousin, but all of my siblings are 8, 15, 18 years older than me. So my cousins were like siblings, especially him. So I understood what Olivia meant. I totally understood what she was saying because I felt that same way. And me and him have had conversations recently about that. And he, you know, is apologetic about the fact that I felt abandoned by him because we were like this. And then all of a sudden you got a girlfriend and, you know, I'm just like, okay, well, you know. And then he gets closer with our boy cousin, you know, and then it's like, oh, they're close, but you're not close with me anymore. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a whole bunch of emotion that came up from watching them have this conversation. But Olivia expresses to Jordan that he's about to have this baby and she feels like she's about to lose him all over again. And he tells her that he won't. And they have this like really grown up conversation, which makes Laura feel like she needs to go back downstairs and have a grown up conversation with her husband about what's going on in their marriage. Billy tells Laura that he doesn't know how to go through life without her. Instead of manning up and looking towards the future, when he got hurt, he ran to his past. And he's so sorry for hurting her, and he loves her, and he loves their family, and he wants to make it right and do whatever he has to do to, you know, get back into their family and them being whole again. And I really hope that they do, y'all. Because everybody be sitting up there acting like the best thing for somebody to do is divorce. But no, I think in this situation, Laura and Billy need to work it the hell out, okay? Work it out. You know, we sitting up here talking about a mistake Billy made 9 years ago, but because she's just finding out about it, it's just like yesterday to her. But once he said all of that, she said she believed him. And then later on that night, he comes to her with a gift. The therapist said that they should give gifts to one another. And he has an album with every note, every letter that Laura ever left him, because he was always leaving. So she'd leave little notes in his duffel bag or, you know, in his suitcase or, you know, anywhere for him to find. And one of the letters that he showed her was the one she wrote to him after his mom finally passed away from cancer. And she said she would always be there for him. And she was. She held true to her promise, and now he wants to do the same thing. And then she kissed him. And he was like, you sure you want to do this? And then she kissed him again. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Yes. Yes. I ain't never want two people to get back together before this much in my life. Just because I feel like they were so good together. Like, I really like Laura. I really like how she's been able to deal with everything. Like, she A1, you know what I'm saying? And he messed up by not being honest with her. And I'm glad that Laura was able to forgive him. When they kissed, I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Okay, so let's pop over to Grace and Spencer, Dylan, and Darnell. Okay, they're all at the house and they're about to go to Corey's family cabin. Okay, they didn't even know the man had a cabin, all right? But his grandfather built this cabin in the woods and that's where he would run to. So she says, we're going to go there and we're going to get him and bring him back home. Okay, he going to die in Crenshaw. You ain't about to die out there in the woods by yourself. Okay, so Darnell shows up. And Grace extends the invitation for him to come along. You know, of course, they need Spencer to give the head nod. And even though he don't want to, he does. So they head down to the cabin. And when they get there, Corey said, what are y'all doing here? Okay, he's upset that they're there. But it's like, dude, hello, this is not just about you. You can't just skate off into the sunset without a word after this seems to be a pattern. This is traumatic. Your children have PTSD from you leaving them the first time, and now you've done it to them again, and then you're going to die. It's like, you know, leaving them over and over and over again. That just wasn't the right way to handle it. But in the moment, he's upset at them being there. But they gotta take him home. He doesn't want to leave. Grace says, then I guess we're staying through the weekend until we can get through to you, okay? Corey doesn't want any pity. I'm like, these are your kids. Ain't no damn pity, okay? He's packing up this cabin for whatever reason. I'm not sure what he was packing the cabin up for. I guess you packing it up to die. You weren't going to pass it down to nobody, child. I don't know. Darnell and Dylan decide they're going to help pack some things up. And Spencer helps as well. And Darnell tries to talk to Spencer, but Spencer just wants to be left alone. He got a lot of stuff on his chest, and he just doesn't feel like Darnell is the person to express it to. Darnell says that he clearly has some things to get off his chest, and if he can't say it to Corey because Corey is sick, say it to me. Spencer just asked him what it was like growing up with Corey. And Darnell says it was stable, fun, but frustrating. He would always have a roundabout way of teaching a lesson. Like he would take him fishing to teach him patience. And Spencer never went fishing. It's something he never experienced. Darnell tells him that he saw during that last game that they played together that even though Spencer didn't grow up with Corey, that he has the best of Corey in him. And that's when I got emotional, because I say all the time that my daddy gave me the best of him. Even though, nothing was ever perfect, y'all. Please don't ever get it twisted. Nothing was ever, perfect or nothing like that. But I swear to God, every good thing that man had inside him, he gave to me. You know what I'm saying? So I really, really tapped into that. And when Spencer, the actor, y'all, that little boy know he can act his ass off, boy. I swear, oh God, I was all in my emotions through this whole episode. He was looking at Darnell with that look like I'm about to cry, but I ain't about to cry. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, y'all ain't gonna get it out me just yet. Not just yet. So Spencer goes to talk to Corey. And now he wants to make this weekend count. Corey went for a walk and calmed himself down, and now he's in a better mood. Corey tries to give Spencer this old Crenshaw jersey, and, Spencer like, what I'm supposed to do with a jersey, bruh? You know what I'm saying? And he kind of flipped out for a second, and he was like, look, I'm sorry. And Corey was like, nah, man, be honest. Say what's on your mind. And he was like, all right, I'm angry. I'm angry because you leave the first time and then you come back in our lives and now you're gonna leave again and now you're gonna leave for good. What I'm gonna do with a jersey? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I'm gonna cry in the car. I'm gonna cry in the car. Y'all, that's what a God, that boy know he can act his ass off. I want to see him in everything that black people put out over the next 10 years. I better see him in a Best Man 3. Okay, look, whatever y'all doing out there, y'all get Spencer to be in it. Because I swear to God, that boy know he can act. This episode was a testament to that. So then Corey and Grace have a conversation, and he apologizes to her for abandoning their marriage. Before she even cheated, he was already out the door. And then she says that she never gave him the details on what happened with Billy. Now, during the episode, these scenes were happening simultaneously. They were going back and forth, finishing, each other's story, basically, by telling their sides. And Grace says that she was so excited for Corey to come back in town because he was traveling with work. And he was supposed to come back, but he calls her and tells her that he's going to stay a little bit longer. Okay, kick it with the other coaches or something like that, which really upset her. So she goes for a walk around the block and runs into Billy. And they end up talking. Billy talked to her and he said that Corey probably never really got over not playing in the pros. And, just probably had a whole bunch of issues within himself outside of his relationship with Grace that hindered their relationship. But she felt abandoned and not needed, just like Billy. So they found that need within one another and they slept together. Grace goes to the lake to cry and Spencer finds her there. And she apologizes to him because her mistake and her moment of weakness or selfishness caused her sons their relationship with their father. And she feels responsible, and she feels even worse now knowing that Corey's dying and they're going to be stuck with her. And Spencer is like, Mom, I'm who I am because of you. And one day when I win that Super Bowl, I'm going to stand up there and tell them people that you my MVP, Ma, because it's because of you that I made it as far as I have. You know what I mean? And, you think about all of those young men that do those things for their moms. And at this point, it kind of seems like a theme amongst disenfranchised young black kids that become football players and they get all this money and everybody want to thank God and their mama and y'all think it's a joke, when at the end of the day, the situation is the situation. This is what has happened to our community in a lot of different ways. And it is important for these boys to thank and uplift their mothers, because their mothers have carried so much on them in order to make sure that their sons become better men than the men they've dated or the men they've had children with. So, I tapped into that in that moment, because, you see it on show. Oh, they gonna thank their mama and the Lord, and it's like, man, you know what I mean? Like, that's who got us through, okay? Like, I'm sorry that you don't feel that way about your moms. My bad. Like, old privileged ass mama, man. But yeah, I was here in this moment. So then they all play a little football together and have this beautiful family moment. Darnell, Dylan, Spencer. Spencer and Darnell are going back and forth like brothers. And I think that after this, their relationship is probably going to be cemented for real. I don't see them not continuing to have a relationship, because there are things that Darnell was able to experience that Spencer hasn't with Corey. So there's going to be like, this feeling of I want to be around him because he has a piece of my dad with him, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I just can see that already, that they might have like a really strong brotherhood or friendship after this. That night, obviously Darnell told Corey, about Spencer never going fishing. So Corey set it up for them to fish. And, of course, after a while, it's like, so we supposed to sit here and do nothing, you know what I'm saying? But they end up having this conversation. And Corey says that he's scared to die alone. And Spencer says that he doesn't have to. He can come home. They'll take care of him. They'll be there when the days are good, and when the days get bad, they'll be there those days too. And Corey says, you know what I love the most about you, son? Your ability to be strong within your vulnerability. It's something that I never learned. I was taught to fight and run, but not to be vulnerable. He said, promise me you'll teach your little brother that. You'll instill that in him. Y'all, then they stand up and hug, and I'm about to cry right now. Like, it was just such a beautiful moment for him to say that, because that is a thing I feel like a lot of black men from Corey's generation on back, they didn't have the space to be vulnerable, and everybody talks about how toxic, but it's like you have to think about the spaces in which these people grow up and why they are the way they are. You don't just put on them, oh, you're toxic. No, you need to understand you're able to be freer in 2019 than they were in 1985 or 95 for that matter. So I think there needs to be some allowance for people's experiences and where we are in the world now versus where we were when they were coming up. You know what I'm saying? So the next day, Grace gives Corey the DNA test that shows him that Dylan was his son. So he was so happy about that. And he was like, it's going to be a good day. So they eat breakfast and have a food fight. And then they're getting up, packing up to go home. And Spencer was like, oh, I forgot that jersey you was about to give me. Y'all, Corey goes back in the house to get the jersey. And after a while, Spencer's like, oh, he's taking too long. My nerves started to get bad immediately. He goes back into the house and Corey is sitting in the chair, gone. And when he screamed, y'all, no. Y'all, I'm tearing up right now. Like, it took me out. It took me out. You know what I'm saying? I just take my hat off to the writers. I don't want to say the boy's name wrong, Azriel. I don't want to say Spencer's real name wrong. But I take my hat off. I like all of that, bro. Like, amazing performance. Amazing. Because I mean, all my feelings came up. I was like, y'all don't give a bitch a break, Lord. But it was a great episode. It was a great episode. All American is like A1 to me. And I love the show so much. So I hope y'all enjoyed the review as I tried not to cry all through it. Because, Lord, that last moment really, really got me. Y'all. I had somebody write me on Instagram today to ask me how I deal with my father's passing, and because her father just passed. And I just said, it's never something that you can gauge, like, oh, it's gonna hurt, and then it'll get better. But it's like it comes in waves, and then those waves lessen over time, and then you just start to feel them during certain times of the year, or around their birthdays, or times you remember them. It'll just come to you out of nowhere, and you'll want to cry. But I keep him close to me. I don't know if y'all know, there's a green plaid shirt that I wear all the time. That was my daddy's shirt. And I still wear it to this day. I have my daddy's recliner downstairs that I'm probably going to get rid of eventually when I get my new sectional, but it's going to be hard for me whenever I do. I have pieces of him around me. I have pictures of him. And most of all, I have all of the good things that he was as a person that he put inside me. And I remember that, and I keep that with me. And I cook. My daddy cooks. So whenever I'm about to get in the kitchen like I am for Thanksgiving, I always say, give me my daddy's hands, because my daddy tore down. Like, everybody know that Jerome tore down. You know what I'm saying? In his kitchen, okay? So, there are things that I do to remind me of him and to put me in a positive space when it comes to it. But ultimately, you're going to cry and you're going to feel sad. But don't shy from it. Don't run away from it. Go through it. Feel the emotion. Feel the pain. Cry. And then you pick yourself up and go along with your day. You know what I'm saying? You live your life knowing that your life is honoring his life, as long as you are making good decisions and being a happy person yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I always think that he would be proud of me, because I do my best to remember what has been put in me and what he would want of me, as a woman and as a responsible adult and all of that type of stuff. Like, my daddy was very, big on responsibility and taking care of yourself. And he always said that I was going to be all right, and I am, but it still hurt. It still hurts. Especially when I think about things that I didn't get to experience with him, or that he won't be able to experience with me. But at the end of the day, I appreciate the time that I had with him, and that he was the person he was to me, because so many people didn't have that, you know what I mean? And I just try to hold on to all of the positive things that I can. And I'm grateful for the fact that anything that was negative was dealt with. Anything that I resented him for was dealt with. You know what I mean? Before my dad passed away, I forgave him for anything that I felt like I needed to forgive him about. Because ultimately, parents do the best they can most of the time. And my daddy did the best he could. For real, for real. So that's what I keep in mind. And I hope that whenever I do have children, that I will continue to give them all of the good that he gave to me. So that's what I think about. And that's what this episode got all in me and in my spirit. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next one.